Hi everyone, so this is a more clear video than the one before. Sorry about the music, I didn't realise it was still playing. I'd turned the speakers down and OBS was still capturing it from the background. And it was the end of the day and I was a bit shattered anyway. So let me just be a bit more clear about what's new and what is the loader. So you see here, now there's disk loader. This will probably change from disk to IO or devices, and it will be like disk loader, cart loader, tape loader, etc. Just now it will basically work with the D64. So let me kind of explain how that works, and I'll come back to some of the other features here soon. So if I run this, I'll just put a no operation in an RTS, right? The world's most basic game, if you want to call it that. And we build and run this. It's basically going to make a PRG file, inject it into device, and something that you might not know, which is quite good if you want to test your work faster. If you go to auto start here, choose this inject into RAM, right? It will be instant. Okay, so that's that. If we try to load anything here like that, there's nothing, right? There's no mounted disk. It's a PRG that's been injected, right? If we do Alt H and D080E, you'll see the first parts of the code there. This is the one that's in the init node. There's my no operation, and this is an auto injected RTS. In fact, that's the one that I added. Yeah, it only auto injects the RTS if you don't put an operation in, so that it just goes back to this basic prompt. Okay, so the disk loader. Now, if you just add this, right, and put in an RTS, right. Well, I've not actually tested what happens here. We'll soon see. Yeah, nothing, just goes back to basic there. Oh, it's in warp mode as well. And if we do Alt H D080E, we just get, well, nothing. It doesn't emit anything. That's all down to how these nodes are optimized. 0 bytes. It's not got a job to do because it's not got any parameters set. So click here, choose a disk. There's no org assets to choose from. Click here, there's no assets to pick from. So you make a new load org, right? And you can call this, disk 1, whatever you want to call it, right? Imagine this is a floppy disk, and you can now put extra data on it as well as the core code, right? So choose this and do disk 1, and no linked files, still no bytes. So let's add an asset. I'm just going to make the most basic asset. I'm just going to do byte data, and I'll just leave it as this default 012, a little example one, right? And we can go to the disk and add byte data to be loaded, right? You can do bitmaps and everything, so I'll just choose that. The byte data now loads from disk, and I think pressing I here caused the extra information to appear. What did I call that? Disk 1. I'm just going to press I again. Anyway, but anyway, disk 1. Don't know what I did that. Must have clicked something. Right. Anyway, disk 1 is going to be got byte data there. The load org is basically the disk, and byte data is now. You see this icon here appeared, right? Okay, so it's 39 bytes. It basically sets that up, loads it in and stuff. I'm just going to test something here. If I edit this byte data, I just want to see if it adds another byte or something. Yeah, still 39 bytes, so it's just a routine. If you ever want to see the routine, press F2, right, and it will give you this code dump. And basically, this is the init section, and this is a routine. It jumps here, does some things. Right, this is all like disk routine stuff. Okay, not sure if it's perfect yet. Still working at it. Well, whilst I'm here, I'm going to show you this. Boom. Right, a lot of people have been asking for that for a while, and I've been a bit stubborn about it. Like, I'm kind of quite precious about the system in it, but it's there now. So now if you press F2, you'll see that hole in it is just nothing in there, which frees up 9 bytes and means you can just put your code in there. It's been overcomplicated how difficult it was to remove that, and because it was one of the first things I did, I got a bit precious about it. But just having the clear button there is fine. Right, so that'll come back every time you start a new one. You can just clear it. Same with F1, you can clear these guys. Right, so the byte data, I think it says 4 bytes. Yeah, 4 bytes. I should probably rename that to bytes, so it's 4B, just sounds like something else. So we're going to hit F5. Right, it's loading something. It's in warp mode. It's doing stuff. Ready, run. Nothing happens. Right. So we can do load. Oops, wrong thing. Oh, I clicked about 15 different other buttons there. Load. Comma 8. Okay. Okay, so that's just the yeah. What I would need to do is do a I wonder if I did a soft reset, would it still? Let's have a look at the disk image. Yeah, there's nothing there. Right, it basically would have loaded the byte data into C100. Right, so we need to check that in the monitor. So if we do DC100 or M10 C100, you can see there's your 0123. That was effectively loaded. Right, I'm just going to press F5 again because it kind of threw me off a bit, and I want to just cancel this and do load, comma 8. Right, a list. So we've got the boot is 187. I definitely don't think this information is right. 187 for the boot doesn't seem correct. It keeps changing all the time, these numbers. 476 blocks free. I'm pretty sure that's not right, and I need to work on it. Keep getting the header value wrong. And you know, I'm trying to fix other stuff that when I change one thing, it breaks another thing. So I fix that, and then it breaks the other thing, and then I end up just chasing things around. So I'll come back to it when I've taken a bit of a break and done other things. But it works. At the end of the day, it's just a false reading. I need to get that right so that we can know when we come into the loader here how much data is actually going to be in here. Right, it says byte data, but it doesn't tell me how many bytes. So I'm going to add that soon. Right, so that's what's new there. It's going to reset. Of course, you can load other stuff. I've not tried SID. I'm curious, so I'm gonna do that now actually, whilst we're here, and clear all this stuff. So let's just add a SID track, and let's do SID music. I'll import one of my sort of tests. I'll do this 2-channel shmup one. Now let's just do a game loop so that we can hear that working. Just made sure to adjust OBS there. Okay. Did I break something here? Oh, I always forget that I make track 0 have nothing in it. So you have to change that to 1. Right, so that's all that is. Now I want to try loading in something. So what I'm going to do in my game loop is have the joystick button press. I do have one that I already made earlier, actually, that I could definitely use. What was the one? The loader. Yeah, this one. This one is it waits for a fire button. It does a little do once check, so it's like a variable that just increases once you press fire, so that every time it doesn't like register fire button every single time, and it does a little skip load. I've also changed the tabulation so that it can tab back the way. So you can tab forward that much and back that much, which I've kind of been wanting me to do for a while. The reason being, I think it would be nice to have your labels poke out the way to the left, sort of thing. So like, could do like that, and then it just helps to read things. There's a JSR, like anything like JSRs, you could sort of do something like that, and jumps. I think it would just help read things a bit better. So 1, 2, 3 for these. I'll do 2 for JSRs and jumps. RTS, I suppose I could tab in an RTS just to see, feel the structure a bit better. So music, text scroll, set of R, macro print, these are all like one shot calls. Text scroll is JSR based, so you call it as a routine, and it's got its own little structure in there. You just JSR to it. Joysticks all JSR calls. You have to do RTSs back to them. It's a wee bit confusing what does what. So I've tried to sort of write up here like JSR calls. They expect an RTS to go back, whereas this one gives you it doesn't give you a label. You have to basically just JSR to that, right? It's in a different sort of mode. So I'll need to kind of describe the way I've designed these, or at some point redesign them. I'm still feeling my way about a lot of things, and I'm apologizing because a lot of this is organic. I'll make something once and go, right, that doesn't quite work with this other thing, and I prefer this way of thinking. I'm a bit erratic, so to speak. I'm not very good at decision making. I tend to do a lot of things and see where things land. So at least I cover a lot of ground, is what I always say. Right, so the macro loader is here for loading a different bitmap, and so it sets up the bitmap. Where is it again? Here, after the fact. Now normally you'd have to have your bitmap in this sort of init thing, but since it's just a one-shot call, it's just going to do that once, get the loading set it up. At least I think it is. So this gets called when you press fire. Right, I want to try and see if I can get SID to be the same. So add an asset, SID music. I've got 2 of them, right? My SID is what I've got up there, and I'll call this SID loaded, and I think this will probably explode. Let's go to the load org and add SID loaded. make sure we've got a track in there. Do 2-channel shmup. Right, it's going to argue that these are overlapping. I thought I resolved this earlier, but what you can do is just go here, right, and you can do ignore this conflict, right, because one's actually loader based, and I'm still ironing out the creases with this, you know, the flagging up here. I tried to make it if one's a loader based thing, then it wouldn't flag up, but it's a bit oversensitive, or in some cases it's not sensitive at all, like it misses stuff. So still evolving that. Okay, so SID loaded. Where do we then set the SID? This is my worry. I might not even have to, because it's just going to load this into the existing data, like overlapping it. So all I need to do is do another macro loader, I suppose, and then choose the file. Right, this is a theory. I build the tools, but then I have to test the tools, right? And I've not tested this yet, so I'm just going to save this, save as, and I'll call it a mega test. Why not? Mega loader test, right? Because it's loading in bitmap and it's loading in this other stuff. I was trying to get 2 text scrollers as well to work. And I had a bit of a problem with that. And I might be able to do the same loader thing now that I think about it. Let's see how it goes. So it's in warp mode to load because disks load slowly. Okay, game loaded. Hello, Commodore 64 user. Welcome to my game. Press the round red button, would ya? Boom, boom. Okay, only kidding. Okay, right, so press that. Loading the bitmap. Never heard any SID, actually. Okay, this will take a while. Put it in warp mode. Okay, yeah, there's a jam. So that's what happens with this one right now, as it's not perfect. Right, I'm going to take that out, and it says it's in use. I need to get rid of that, and then it still says it's in use. Oh, it's in use because it's referred to through the loader. So you need to get out of there, then you can get rid of it. Let me just check that it wasn't just jamming in the first place, because I'd been messing with this and I saw the jam earlier. Let's do Alt W, it's in warp mode already. Yeah, see the music's working now. So SID doesn't work yet. Right, loading. Let's do warp. And then the jam actually happens here. Okay, well, so it's not the SID. If that's the case, then let's load our mega loader test. And I'm going to take the bitmap stuff out. Let's not load the bitmap. Let's remove it from here. And remove it from there, so I've got no reference of it. It will... Oh yeah, it's not even going to bother doing a bitmap. This is just a pure SID test then. So there's the SID is already set up here. And it's going to try and load one after the fact. Right? So I'll be surprised if this works. It would need to be playing the SID right away. Yeah. It's not. I wonder if it's... So it's not actually loaded it yet. As soon as I take this out, it will... it should play this correctly. Oh, it's not doing that either. Huh. is different. Well, the SID loaded being here, not connected. Let's try loading the bitmap. And then you get the jam as well. Well, yeah, that's a shame. It's not quite working yet. And I think it's to do with this. So let me just take this out and remove that from there and remove this here. I just wonder if now it's something to do with the actual asset. We should get music. Oh, it's going hell of a fast. I'll take out the V-weight or something. Is that GSR call for the scroller? It should just be that. Core loop 1. Oh, there's a scroll called there. Oh, I've got 2 scroll calls. I think this is a bit of an old test. I've got 2 core loops here. Skip label. Okay, RTS. Right. I wonder if that was part of the problem. Let's take these out. Loading bitmap. I'll probably show. Oh, that's jamming again. So it gets to this. Press fire. Skip load. RTS. RTS back from the fire. Gets here. If not, do once. Go to core loop 1. Ah, there is no core loop 1. Okay. So it's just going to RTS back there. And go this loop. I think that's what's happening. It's kind of jammed up there. Yeah, there's nothing for it to do. It's not loading anything there. Right. So let's just load that again. The old one. Just want to follow this properly. Target loop here. I'll just take these out. It's got a text scroller here, that's fine. Oh yeah, because there was a second text scroller, that's right. And it's jamming because it doesn't exist anymore, so that's out. I don't need these. There's just a core loop to catch it while it's on the bitmap mode. So press fire. Yeah, because when it comes back here, we don't want to allow fire again, I suppose. So yeah, only if we press it once will it jump to core loop, which it gets increased from 0 here. So it's set at 0. It says game's loaded. Yep, that's the first thing it does. Is sets up the music, text scroll, sets that to 0, clears the screen, game loaded, and this main loop, and calls the scroller, waits for the joystick for the fire flag. You press fire, it goes up here, and it needs the RTS. So I'm just going to tab these out. Checks the if node for do once if it's greater than 0. So it starts at 0, so it won't be greater than 0 initially. So we'll do this loading bitmap, do the loader for the bitmap, and then it will increase the skip load. It will increase the do once. Okay, there's an address for that. It's going to show the bitmap there. RTS back from the joystick. It's going to check if do once equals 1, and it's just going to go to core loop, and therefore it's just going to hang here. And that's where I was trying to put in like the GSR text roller. I guess I could put in this one to see if it actually runs. But this is where I was getting a bit of a problem. With 2 different text scrollers, and I thought to myself, well, if I've got 2 of these, I could potentially load in the second one, or I was going to do a macro called Move Data, where I can actually move what's in 2700 into 2600 and just have it continue doing its scroller cycle. So I'm going to add that anyway. Okay, so let's just save this. Let's save it over. It's fine. And I'll test it. You see, that was set to like bitmap none. This one, it's just like nothing in there. Right, so that's kind of what's there just now until we load. So it's loading the bitmap. Please don't jam. Let's do Alt W. There we go. That's what's meant to happen. But the only problem is it's saying the same message as first one. So I'm going to try, I'm going to try this. I'm going to try to load in the text data 2 to 2000. Yeah, that's an idea. Again, none of this has been tested properly. So you're seeing how I test stuff. So text data is obviously mingling with text data 2. Now you can't look an asset. They're just like it says it's an asset, and you can do ignore this conflict, right? Which we'll do. That way it won't annoy us, because we want one of these to be loader based, and that was supposed to be an exception where it wouldn't flag up in the memory if one was in here. I'm still working on it. So text data 2, let's make that loaded under, so it's all under this disk, which means we need another one of these to then load the text data. Loads from disk, and we can see text data 2 is you made it to the bitmap, climb your way up, little ninja boy. Okay, so I wonder if it just injects it to the right location and then just updates the scroller. That would be great. That would solve my initial problem. So Alt W, it's in warp mode already. You made it to the bitmap, climb your way up, little ninja. Right. What's happened there is it's auto-injected. That's not treated it as a loader-based thing. It's overwrote it. Because I remember asking it to do that today. It's like, oh, these need to be directly written to memory, to location. Sorry about the bad lines there. You have to mess with the cycles, the pre-nop cycles and stuff. You have to put a bit like padding in there. I forget what the good numbers are. But it catches bits of information and messes it up. Right. This sucks because I now need to go back to this and not only fix the memory issue, like should be an exception if they're on disk, but the fact that text data has just been injected into memory, even if it's not being used, because we're using text data, and what I did today was made sure it got injected into memory, but now there's an exception if it's on a disk, and that's the other part of the problem. So so it's not quite there yet, and SID, as you saw, caused a big jam up. Let me try SID again, actually, because it might have been something else. It might have been a call to something else. Let's do SID music. Yeah, SID loaded. Get the feeling I'll just get the jam again, but it's worthwhile trying it. Let's do this one. What's in here? My SID, okay. And it's going to say that they're conflicting. Ignore them. Add SID loaded. Okay, so these are all on disk, and then let's try my disk SID loaded. Right. And the thing is, because the SID will be playing and this data gets thrown in, it will likely cause a jam. It will be a timing based thing, and I'm not sure what I can do about that just yet. I need to stop the SID from being called, but it's in its own little raster routine. So there's a lot of things like that I need to work out before we can load different SIDs in. Early days with the disk stuff. I'm still excited about it. Right, game loaded. There's an instant jam. Definitely doing something with that SID that's not nice. I wonder if I can just put it here or something. I'm experimenting a bit to see if it's gonna help. I don't know. Just a theory. I think it's just gonna do the same thing. Yeah. So it's jamming. Or it ain't jamming. Ain't jamming any music. So I'll save this file, right? And my mission in the next day or week, I don't know if I'll get this done tomorrow. I was hoping to do other stuff. I was hoping to call this done and dusted, but I've been a bit naive. Yeah, my goal was just to get that to work correctly, the loading in the data. I might have a go at the data side just now and then look at the rest of it soon enough. But yeah, that's the general update, guys. Loader, how the loader stuff sort of works. The fact you can clear the init now and it will work in real time. You can just clear it. You'll see the end address will change for these. C8CB. Yeah, that's obviously C. Why is that saying BC8? And that's saying BCB. Oh yeah, must be the number of bytes. Sure it is. Yep, that's it. So clear that, and everything will just update automatically. The other thing was if you move this away, is oh, that's interesting. And now it says 0. Oh, that doesn't have any address, so it's conflicting with the fact this org block is address 0. And what will happen is if you press F5, it will tell you org block at 0 with attached code data. 0 page is not executable. It would crash the C64. Yeah. So that is basically going to zoom in on it like that. Yeah. And then you put that back there, it'll just update, because sometimes you move stuff about. I don't know if you saw in a previous video, you can wire up orgs and move their code about like that. I definitely want to get the indenting to stay where it was as well. It's just a bit tricky with new nodes. It's not copying the data properly. Keeps resetting it. Right. And yeah, you can do stuff like that. I mean, that's just all the same there. Right. You can undo all that stuff as well. Right, you can even undo the init. Yeah. Clear. Control Y. Control Shift Z. That's Control Y. Right, clear that. So yeah, again, my goal was just to get this to work. Okay, so I'll need to take note that text data is auto-injecting. SID needs a way to stop. Bitmap seems to be fine. It's doing what it's supposed to, and the disk byte count or whatever it is, the block count is wrong. I'm definitely tell that's wrong. It's all over the bit. I think it's a byte off to the right or left. Overlaps wee bit kind of funny when one of them's on a disk. It shouldn't complain if one of them's disk based, but it could just be that I'm adding a SID music, and then like so, close, and then like if I was to say add to channel shmup, yeah, it still doesn't rectify it like after it. Sometimes if you click the workspace, it updates the everything, but that needs addressed as well. Otherwise, you'd just be ignoring. But this is nice. It's nice when you get it working with code. So if I do an org block like so, and I say let's start this at, I don't know, 08B3, 0AB3, 0AB3, and then I just start to throw in stuff in here, we'll get that. And it used to say code block whatever issue, right? But it's not doing that anymore. It used to say that. Let's see if I just put in something here. Alright. Yeah, it would actually tell me that there was a conflict between this org block and this stuff, and choose left and right side. So I need to fix that as well. So there's 5 different things for me to fix for this to be fully usable. Sorry I get everyone so excited. I'm just so excited that I got the bitmap working and never actually get around to testing everything else. But hopefully this has gave you a bit of insight into what's new and how some other stuff works, as a kind of continuation from the 4 tutorials that I've created, those kind of formal tutorials that I want to do more of. I think they're more kind of educational toned as opposed to relaxed and informal like these ones. So yeah, just treat this as a loose update. Again, apologies for the music in the last one, and I hope this serves you a bit better. And I'll catch you. I'll do the update on Sunday, likely. Maybe not. I'm going to Zap live in Coventry actually on Friday and Saturday. I'll get to meet the man and a few other people, and obviously talk about this. Why wouldn't I? And yeah, I might not do the sort of Sunday update this Sunday because I don't know how much I'll actually get done. So it might be the following Sunday, I think would be better. I need to fix all this stuff. So until that time, I'll catch you later. Bye for now.